Chapter 2.
I'm Erik Cargill.
And I'm Rachel Elnar, and this is Cheers and Tears.
Design leadership tales retold.
Hey, Erik, we have two guests to welcome to the podcast. Our first guest is a designer activist focused on LGBTQ issues, women's rights, health, and environmental protection. As an active participant in the design community, she has served leadership roles at AIGA in the Philadelphia chapter, including the education chair, vice president, and president. Her teaching practice parallels her research interests by fostering the idea that our work as designers has an impact on the human experience. Her design work has been featured in many publications and exhibitions and in collections at Northwestern University and the Poster House in New York City. Welcome, Professor, BFA Program Head, and Graduate Director of the Design and Illustration Department at the Tyler School of Art and Architecture, Kelly Holohan. Her leadership retreat partner in crime is here with us too. This guest is a graphic design advocate who has served in AIGA Philadelphia since 1999, holding roles including president, chair of the Philadelphia Design Awards, and working on national diversity initiatives, earning her the Philadelphia AIGA Fellow Award in 2019. As a partner at Cooper Graphic Design, founded with her husband Gavin, she's created distinctive work for clients like Mural Arts Philadelphia, the African American Museum, and Wawa. She's also known for her activism through We the Women Design, Fight for Human Rights, and Sisters in Solidarity, where she organizes postcard writing campaigns for social change. Please say hello to partner at Cooper Graphic Design, Michele Cooper. Hello.
Hey.
Welcome, both of you.
Welcome,
Hi.
both of you. Yeah.
Thanks so
Hi.
much for the invite.
Oh
Of
my gosh, I'm
course.
so happy you're here. Did you guys are coordinating. Did you do that on purpose?
Well, we've been friends a
Wow.
long time.
It's like our cycles or something.
It
Yeah,
is,
maybe.
yeah. Wow, that's
Twinning.
not happening anymore.
Oh, that is amazing. It's probably not the first time. You're right.
It's true.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about this dynamic duo and your roles within AIGA Philadelphia, as well as your experiences in the leadership retreats. So would like to know maybe a little bit about how you got into leadership specifically. We can start with Kelly and then go to Michele.
Okay, great. Well, I came from, I was in Manhattan, and I was working for a design firm called Bernhard Fedema Design. And at that time, the job opened up at Tyler, and I was teaching part-time at SVA. I always knew I wanted to be an educator. So when a job opened at Tyler, of course, I got my MFA at Tyler, and so it was always dear to my heart. And all those folks, my mentors, became my very good friends. And so when the job opened up, I applied, and so the first year I was here from 2000 to 2001, I was back and forth from New York because I was a dean's appointment at the time, and then my position went tenure, and I reapplied for it the next year and got it. And so then when I moved here, so that was 2001, I wanted to get involved with AIGA, and I reached out, and it was, and I met Michele all around the same time too. Um, and I reached out, and so I went to one committee meeting. This is a good story. So I went one committee meeting, and Bill Deering was the chair of the education committee. And after that meeting, he said, you'd be a great chair for this committee. And I'm like, I didn't know very much. I went, okay, and that's sort of how it happened. And so I was education chair for a number of years until I think I took a break in 2005 because we did the AIGA National Conference was in Philadelphia. And so that year I did all the design. I ran the design committee for that conference. And then I transitioned right after that to be Michele's vice president. at AIGA. So and then so that was 2006. And then I was president from 2007 to 9. So it was like a full decade of full activism on running committees and sharing things. So yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that
Yeah.
yeah, we started out I started out in 1999 and at the Philadelphia chapter. I don't even know, something similar to Kelly's story about getting invited to a meeting and then all of a sudden I'm like chair of something. I forget. I was on the committee, the education committee. I was
Yeah.
actually on there for a while. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, now we need a chair for PR when
Mhm.
I think like that existed. I feel like PR chairs aren't really like they don't exist anymore on on the boards. So I was a PR chair and then became VP, which that happened quickly too. I think I wasn't even PR chair for a year. And
Mhm.
then Brad Keir was president at the time and just said, "You're going to be vice president." So
It was like we didn't have any options. It's like, okay.
yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's so I remember a lot of things changed really fast. The organization wasn't super there weren't a lot of members at the time. And
Yeah.
so I remember a lot of us were just like trying to fill spots. And one of the other people, Lisa Richards, was in
Mhm.
charge of like partnerships or something like that. And she and I were just like deer in headlights, wondering like, what are we supposed to do? And so, I mean, it was great
Yeah.
because it meant that we could change everything,
Yeah.
to whatever it is that we
Yeah.
wanted. So
Right.
there was a lot of excitement around that. So when I became president, it was fun to
Yeah.
play around.
There was like financial issues too. Like that's what I remember
Yeah.
about like when you and I were working together, when you were
Mhm.
president, like there was a lot of like figuring out how we're going to make this sound, like
Right.
moving forward.
Well, there was the
And
whole thing about memberships. Like we would get portions of the membership that go back to the
yeah.
chapter, and that was not happening. So
Mm-mm.
so
For
we weren't getting
years. Yeah.
any of
What?
that. And we found out and had an
Yeah.
amazing treasurer,
Yeah.
Amy Davis,
Amy
like
Davis, she was
she
amazing.
found
Yeah.
out how to transfer those funds into
Yeah.
our chapter account. So that was then we had money.
Yeah.
We never had money before.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were a
And
lot of like financial things.
that's when like really robust programming started to happen, because we actually had some funds to do that with. And like I was like I always remember that time, Michelle. It was like you like came in and the task was to try to figure out that financial stuff and kind of get everything underway. And then I joke that I was the person that came in and had to be the bad guy and tell people that like things like, I don't know, you have to be a member of the organization if you're going to sit in a leadership position, and that was not a popular idea.
Yeah, that's how sad
Yeah,
it was in terms
it
of
was
just
bad. Yeah.
people that were involved. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely something when I was transferring over power to Kelly. I remember having to explain this, this is something that is an issue.
Yeah.
And what
So, yeah.
what year was this? What year was this when this
Was
transfer came and you
So
started finding all of this
I think that
out?
2007 to 2008.
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
7 to
Okay.
8. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was president from 2005, I think, to 2007.
Mhm. Right. And I was 2007 to 2009. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, with
Mhm.
all the newfound money, what type of programming did you do?
I look back at my CV because, as an educator, we have to document every fart we ever make. So, so I went back and looked and I could see like I'm like, wow, we did a lot. Like we initiated those student tours. Um we did we did it was a lot of obviously student programming because we were such a big chapter and we had like and we I think we still have there's like 6 or 7 design programs associated with us in the area. And then we did that New to You series. We had Saul Sender come. Um, and who designed the Obama logo. We did green stock. So we did sustainability programming. Remember we had Paul Pollock come and there was a
Oh
bunch
yeah.
of people come that came for that. So
Hmm.
yeah, we did some really exciting things. And of course then just like we did the community choice thing where we sent out lists of people and had our community vote on who they would like to see. And so we got, we had Muka, and we had Roberto DeVic, and I think Michael Beirut came. So we had the big stars also, but we also did a lot of kind of grassroots stuff. Yeah.
So much fun. What a great way to spend money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even when we didn't have money, I think like we did what we could with what we had, and
Yeah.
we grew the membership. I think was really what
Yes.
we did when we didn't have any money.
Yeah.
So that's why I think some of the rules started to
Yeah.
be important once
Mhm.
once we transferred power. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, now we have actual members.
Yeah.
We really probably should have some
Yeah.
rules or protocols.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing. I think I actually recruited Alan Espiritu
Yep.
during that time as well. And so he had a lot of energy, as we all
Was that
know.
PDA? Did PDA happen around that time?
PDA
That's the
actually didn't happen until later. That wasn't until, let me think, when was that? 2007. So it was during your
yeah.
time. 2007
Yeah.
was the first
Yeah.
time.
So
Oh, right.
PDA,
Because
yeah,
I
tell
went
them
right.
what PDA is. Yeah.
So PDA is the Philadelphia Design Awards. It was like
Okay.
nothing that
Oh,
we
okay.
actually ever had. Yeah. PDA, we loved that it sounded like something, It was
Yeah.
love, the city of brotherly love.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was with Alan. That was with Alan Espiritu. He and
Yep.
I spearheaded that. But it was right after I came off of being president,
Yeah.
and a lot of people were like, "Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Why would you want to do something after you did all this
Yeah.
work being president?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. It's a good transition. It's like
Yeah.
less
It's like
responsibility, but just like
an
more
event.
hyper focused."
Yeah.
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 Well, why is that? I mean, I hear this over and over from our guests. It's like, yay, I'm not a president. I get to relax. So I took on this other committee.
It's the people. I think it's the people like wanting to kind
Absolutely.
of stay involved, you know. And over the years, all the time that Michelle and I put in, like you've developed these really amazing relationships. So, you want to keep working with these people. And since that time, like Michelle and I, we the women, Michelle and I launched that together. And, so that was a good, and we did all sorts of programming around that. We did that thing at Kismet, Michelle,
The
the
panel
talk,
discussion.
the panel
Hmm.
discussion, and
Hmm.
then we did a poster design. This was in the last Trump administration. We did a poster, um, a protest poster workshop where folks came in um, and then of course there was the posters themselves, and we solicited women, non-binary, queer folks to participate that were within our networks, and that all focused on human rights in the United States. That was the focus of that. And so once we had collected, there was about 40 posters altogether, and then we designed a website and launched it. We were selling them to try to kind of keep it running, and of course we both had full-time jobs, so it did okay for the first 2.5 years, and then we just couldn't keep up with it.
It's really hard to keep those systems and those programs in place.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, even as necessary as they are,
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
But
Good
we're
stuff.
still together on Sisters in Solidarity. Like we're still, doing that kind of stuff. Michelle organized a fundraiser for human rights initially a few years ago, and then she recently relaunched that. And so that was the Second Street Press silkscreen workshop.
Right. And that was also with Alan Esbury
Yeah.
too at GD
Yep.
Loft.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I agree. I think that there have been so many relationships that have been made and then fostered through the years
Yeah.
um, for for so
Yeah.
many of us.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's one of those situations where when you leave the organization, you could still call anybody up and they
Absolutely.
would still remember you. I mean, especially in Philadelphia, but also with the leadership retreats. I feel like it's great to have social media because that's the way that we can stay in touch and know that
Mhm.
everyone's still doing things and they're
Yeah.
around and seeing other AIGA
Yeah.
friends in different cities. And I just love that. I love seeing that people are still getting together, even though, you're coming from different parts of the country. Whenever somebody pops into a different city, they'll meet up with one of their AIGA leadership friends. Um, but I remember Facebook actually was a brand new thing
Yep.
when Omaha happened. And I remember that the AIGA leadership retreat was the reason why I joined Facebook. So
Yeah, because you wanted to
Mm.
see what debauchery of photos you were tagged into. Because Michelle,
Yeah.
you were dancing
absolutely.
on some crazy tables there in the bar.
I actually just in trying to like remember some of the places that I went because I couldn't remember all of the cities. I was looking online for like I remembered Omaha, so I did a search AIG Philadelphia Omaha and Varick. Do you remember Varick? I
Mhm.
forget Varick's last name.
Rosette.
Is it Rosette? So his like I forget what it was. It was like Tumblr feed or something
Mhm.
showed up, and there were a million pictures from
From
like
that retreat.
Omaha. Yeah, from
Yeah.
Omaha, and I think like another one. I don't remember, but it was crazy because you see all of these faces, and it's like frozen in time. It's like kind of like the last time that I saw all these people because like Kelly was saying, we decided to let other people go. And so
Yeah.
by the time I went to the next retreat, some of those spaces might have been gone. But like seeing these pictures,
Right.
it was really amazing that,
Plus,
I
it helps you
remember them
remember.
exactly that way. Yeah.
I can't remember crap. So like it's like I had to look back. So Rachel, those pictures I sent you, I'm like, I know there are pictures. And so the minute I saw the photos, like remember the going away party for me? Like when I was done being president,
Hmm.
Helene sponsored
Hmm.
that party at her house and we were
Hmm.
playing garage band. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yes. I do remember that. That was so funny. That was There were some
Yeah.
people from Omaha that were at that party too. So like Alyssa and Alex Zaradnik.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, they
I
were
just-
all on the board when I was president, right? Because I think Alex ran that programming for the Green Stock. It was him and Mark, remember? They did that.
oh yeah.
And yeah. And yeah, there were just so many great people. And then I brought a lot of students on to I turned them on to AIGA in general. And so I think like Mary Beth Cradle Weitzel, who was
Hmm.
a president, at some point after us, I brought her on the board. I didn't Bernardo. I just saw Bernardo
Mm.
the other day, and um, I was like, "Did I bring you on the board?" I was trying to remember, and he said, "No." He said, "But you were the one. You were the reason I got to go to one of the retreats. I can't remember what it was." So
Oh,
he
probably
remembered.
Omaha, actually.
Maybe.
Yeah, because
So yeah,
Bernardo was
yeah,
there. Bernardo was
yeah.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we
Yeah.
Bernardo and I did the thing I remember with Bernardo with AIGA was we did that what's the big awards thing in New York? The the the
The gala
the gala. We got a
the
table at the
medalist.
gala, what the
Hmm.
medalists, yeah.
Mhm.
And so Bernardo and I went to that together.
So I'm listening to you both saying, did I bring them to the board? I brought them onto the board. Sort of the same way we were all sort of
Mhm.
picked and pulled into the
Mhm.
board. I was laughing at your stories because Erik tells me that he was also just attending an event and got picked up and
Yeah.
put on the board.
It's like
First
you.
event. First event. First first event. Hey, do you wanna raise money for us? Cold call people for
Sounds
money?
fun.
That was
Sounds
horrifying.
just like,
That was,
yeah. Like
that was
as
horrifying.
designers, is that what we do? That's yeah, I feel like that's a little
Oh,
out of our
yeah,
skill set.
yeah.
That is a stretch goal for sure. But yeah, yeah. I mean, your story is very familiar. It's,
Mhm.
the community is still part of our lives.
Yeah, I went to there was an event in Philly at the Barns last year. And there were all sorts of people, and I felt like it was the first like in-person event that I really engaged in after COVID too. And so a lot of people came out and it was nice. Like I think Frank Baseman was there. Alex Radnick showed up to that. I saw him in passing. Emily Cohen was there. So it was nice to reconnect with those folks, but also like to meet all the young bloods, like on the board. And
Mhm.
the current president, the incoming president, is Mia Culbertson, and she is my former graduate student and my current colleague. She teaches with us at Tyler.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Well, I'll say this last thing about the Philly chapter, or I'll ask the last question about Philly chapter, and then Eric, I want us to jump into the leadership retreats and open up a bit. But
Mhm.
I'll have to say that at the leadership retreats, Philly was the it chapter. I mean, if you wanted to have a fun time,
Really?
you find the Philly room. Oh yeah, for sure, especially
Yeah.
in Omaha, right, Michelle?
Yeah. I don't know if we were in Omaha. I feel like that might have been where was Jacksonville? Maybe was like the room. Because I remember
Jacksonville was
there
also
always
crazy.
being, yes, I remember there always being like games. They were like always playing like beer pong or something in their room. But just the numbers that we were writing on our hands to like make sure we were
Right.
okay. Like
And making peer and
we
making
were going
pyramids.
through
Yeah.
all the oh yeah, and then the pyramids too.
And the
That maybe is
pyramids.
when it
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
It's like a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely in awe of your community in Philly because when you show up to the national stage, people know who you are. I mean, Philly has been mentioned in every single episode we've done. We've already done 16, and
Wow.
Philly is mentioned every single
Philly,
time.
very
First
popular.
chapter. First chapter.
Yeah.
I hear it's contentious that there's some argument about it, but I dig in. We were the first chapter, and was Alina Wheeler the president?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Alina
Alina,
Wheeler
and
started.
R.I.P. Alina. She died last year.
Yeah. She was definitely, and she was the first fellow in Philadelphia.
Yep.
Mhm.
It was
That's
Alina and
amazing.
Hans and all those guys.
Intimidating. It was really intimidating actually, like to have all of these like big names.
Yeah.
I lived in Arizona for a couple years and then moved back to Philadelphia area and ended up getting involved with the AIGA, but it was just so intimidating. There was so much history with the chapter. So I think Rosemary Murphy was the president then. And
Yeah. I didn't know enough to be intimidated. I was just like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, you came from New York and it was just like,
Yeah.
"Plop."
I was just like, oh,
Yeah, let's talk about leadership
okay.
retreats. You guys tell us some of your favorite memories, some of the standout memories from the programming and
Uh-huh.
and also the after parties.
Yeah.
If you don't remember the dates, totally fine, or
Yeah.
where it was. I know they all
Yeah.
bleed together, but just
Yeah.
some
And you have to
some
separate
anecdotes.
them from the AIGA conferences too, because I had to
Mm.
like look and I said, okay, because sometimes
Yes.
it was like, wait, was that a leadership retreat or was that a conference? Because
Right.
a lot of the same folks you would go to both.
But were there pyramids in both?
No, that
Oh,
was
okay.
It was a very
exclusively
different
a leadership.
experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of like when you go to college, and college is like fun, and you're doing so much socializing, and there's a balance there. And then you go to get your like master's or your doctorate, and then you're just like you're very serious.
Yeah.
So that was like, those were the conferences, and the leadership retreats were like fun college times.
Fun.
Yeah, there was some epic like one of my favorite memories that was in Miami. Were you in Miami with me? No.
I wasn't.
I was not.
That was when we switched.
All right,
But
we
I would love to
switched.
know more, so please dish.
Okay. So Bill Grant was president, and we were hanging out in the hot tub, and we were completely we were so drunk. Like it's one of the like most drunk times I've ever been in my life. And so it was Bill Grant was in there, and then the folks I love those people from Richmond. It was Dave
Dave
McIntosh
McIntosh.
and
Yeah.
Kim Spencer. Yeah, like see, it's all about the people. Like it was all, it was always these experiences that you would have with people. And when Michelle and I were at the retreats together, we were always roommates, which was my favorite because I'm not going to go into the story at all here. But there was the one retreat I went without Michelle. I had a different roommate who shall not be named, and there was an uninvited guest in our room, and it was like
Oh.
I remember laying there thinking, I'm too old for this shit. You know? And I said to you, Michelle, I'm never staying with anybody but you after that, and I didn't.
Ooh, that's not good.
Wow.
Yeah, right. I feel like because did we roomed in Portland together?
Yeah, we did in Portland, and I think we did in
Okay.
San Francisco for a little bit. But then
Yes,
I
we did in San
stayed
Francisco.
later in San Francisco because I had just started dating my wife. So this is a
Yes.
nice little, yeah.
I remember that. I
Right?
remember you having phone calls. Yeah.
did.
In
And
San Francisco. Yeah.
I stayed a day longer, and Dave Rizzio let me stay in his room because he was going to be there an extra day. So I crashed in his room because I wanted to go to the Pride Parade. The Pride Parade was Sunday. And
Oh, wow.
so I said, I'm in San Francisco. I have to go to Pride here. And so my wife, who I just started dating, I was on the phone with her for all of Pride in San Francisco, and I was like sharing.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Wow.
fun.
I actually remember in Omaha, I feel like this was a tradition, and I feel like we did that the year before, and I can't remember where that was. Maybe it was that San Francisco, but we had to have each chapter had like a dance
A
performance or
performance,
something that they
and we
had
did
to
that
do.
too.
Yeah, yeah. And we pulled Lori was involved in that.
Yes.
Lori Churchman.
And Alan was
Because
the
we were
front singer. Alan was in front, and we
right.
all like. I mean, it felt like it felt like a junior high play. Like it
Yeah.
had that vibe to it.
Yes. But it was a lot of pressure because, everybody wanted to do something that was, related to where they were from. And so we did that. And then like I think in Omaha we did something with like the love statue or something where they recreated the love statue with our t-shirts or something like that. Um but yeah, I always felt like that was kind of like that's what set up just the lightness and the fun for
Mhm.
the whole event because it was like the first night. That's what you had to do. And so
Yep.
you're already like being completely ridiculous, like in front of
Yeah.
strangers. So
Humiliate
why not
yourself.
like after that go and like just have drinks with them? And so that was the way it started out. But I don't know if they continued to do that. I don't remember if I saw that after. I don't know if we did it in Portland. I don't think we did. Is that the one though that had the video game place where we like all would you could like go and get drinks and there's all these video games that you could play. I felt like that was
Yeah.
Portland.
No, I
Like
don't
an
know. I
arcade
remember
bar?
the bookstore, Powell's. We went to Powell's.
House. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have spent hours there for
Oh,
sure.
easy. I love it.
Yeah.
I love a good bookstore.
I remember in Omaha that I didn't bring anything for the big night where like I think there was always like a night where
dressy
we
night.
would all get dressed up and I didn't have anything. So I had to go to like some random boutique in Omaha and found a dress that I still own and I
Yeah.
just wore to a gala like last weekend.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive
Yeah.
that dress still fits you, Michelle.
Well, it was like an A-line dress. I mean, like, I feel like, there weren't issues fitting into it, thankfully. But yeah, it was a fun dress.
And Omaha was 2008, so that was a long time ago.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah, we're all a lot older. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely held up through the years, I guess.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Omaha's where pyramids started, right? If I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah, I think so.
did you take part of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it
think
just
there's a picture of that in Eric's his like Shutterfly or whatever, Flickr or whatever it was, his like his stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I think that I remember Caroline or Carolyn Colonna. She
Yeah,
was
Carolyn
always
Colonna. She was always on the
yeah,
top. She was
she was
tiny.
always on the top.
She's
Yeah.
still tiny.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually Facebook friends with her. So every now and then I'll see her pop up. So like I said, Facebook's really nice for those things.
Are you Facebook friends, Michelle, with anybody that I'm not giving anything away, but with anybody that you don't you met them at AIGA, but you don't really remember? Like,
Oh.
because I've had
That's
a couple
me.
of
I have a
those.
lot of
I'm
those.
like, no, I think that was AIGA, but I have no. It's gone.
No, I don't think that I do because I feel like there are probably people in my list that just
Yeah.
don't show up in the
Yeah.
feed.
Yeah.
But no, most of the people that I see pop up, I remember. Like David McIntosh, he's still
Oh,
on
yeah.
there.
I've introduced myself to people like, you know, uh, for jobs, looking for a job. I've introduced myself to hiring managers, and
Uh-huh.
I was friends with them in AIGA through Facebook, and I'm
And you don't
introducing
remember?
myself, and I don't don't remember.
And you were interviewing for a job with them or the
No,
applicant?
I didn't get to the interview stage, but
Okay.
it was
Because
just
you didn't
like,
remember
oh,
them.
yeah, it was like, oh, you were in AIGA, so was I. So was I. And then yeah, Eric, I know.
Okay, that hasn't happened to me.
It's
Man.
tough. I mean, we have large networks. If you go to one leadership
Yeah.
retreat, you're automatically best friends with 250, 350 people,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Then
Yeah.
you go to another one and there might be some overlap, but honestly,
Yeah.
the AIGA family keeps growing and growing. So I don't even know, especially you, Kelly, you're a teacher. When you're a teacher, you have got like a whole other side of your brain just trying to retain
Thousands.
students.
Thousands over the I've been at Tyler 25 years and if I see them, okay. So if I see them after they've graduated and out of context, that's even harder. It's like, "Oh, I know you. I think you might have been a student." Like it takes a minute and so sometimes I'll just let them talk and then they will reveal to me, who they are. And then usually that's enough to trigger my memory. Yeah.
It's hard. It's like seeing an actor. You were not in the same outfit as I saw you before. So yeah.
Exactly. You look different. You have a different hair
Costume is
color, or
different.
your hair,
Yeah, exactly.
or you put on weight, or you took off weight, or all the things.
Not all of us get to mix with celebrities in LA.
Well, I'm not talking about in reality. I'm just saying, like, watching one show and then another show. Like, oh, this
Gotcha.
looks familiar.
Well,
Gotcha.
you hang out with my bestie celebrity, Christine Scheller, so I know.
Mm,
Yeah. She's a rock star. Yeah.
she's
You're
great.
a rock star.
She's
Oh my
great.
gosh.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about something that you learned from other people in either the leadership retreats or in your experience on the board.
So for me, as coming to AIGA as an educator, like I knew at that time, of course it's changed over the years, but I knew what motivated my students to help them get to the outcomes that they wanted. But motivating volunteers is its own thing. And So I think some of the things, and Michelle did this too, were these kinds of retreats that we would do. And one of the things that I would try to do with my board at the time was to get to the heart of why they were there, you know?
Mm.
And, some people were there for, like me, for the camaraderie and but other people were there for different reasons. So, and then I tried to make mental notes of what it was that was motivating those folks so that I um, could play to that, to make sure that they were getting out of it what they were putting into it. And I think that that's the first time I ever really thought that way. I think I was doing it kind of instinctually with teaching, but it was the first time with AIG that I ever really like gave that a concrete thought, and I think it made my teaching better afterwards. And then of course I moved. So in 2010 I became graduate director. So I moved into a leadership position. So in 2010, I was graduate director, and then I became the BFA program head in 2016. So I feel like some of that work with AIG helped prepare me for those leadership roles.
Yeah, I think the same thing about volunteering. I actually do volunteering for a lot of different initiatives now that are not graphic design related. And I think, AIGA leadership retreats or even just being involved in AIGA Philadelphia was
Mhm.
the first time that I was organizing volunteers and working with volunteers for sure. Like so quickly when you become the president and you're working with different departments within the the retreat or not the retreat within the group, you just you know that people have agendas, not
Mhm.
anything negative, but
No.
agendas. The
Mhm.
reason that they want to be involved is 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 particular to who they are, and so like trying to just facilitate that and make that happen for them. That was
Mhm.
always sort of the goal, and I learned that through just volunteering with AIGA. But
Yeah.
then with being involved with the leadership retreats, it was a whole other level. And my age then, like kind of being like a younger designer, seeing how people network, like that
Mhm.
whole concept was sort of like this was the first time that I saw that at a bigger level, like not just in the city, but just the opportunities that you have to meet people from all over the country was just
Mhm.
so fascinating, but also pulling like I remember all the tables that were at all of the retreats with everybody's materials and
Mhm.
just taking notes on
Right,
what people were
right. How I
doing
forgot about all
and
that.
bringing
Yeah.
it back. Yeah, I
Yes.
felt like a real responsibility. Like that was the
Yes.
thing
That was
that
like
we
so
needed to
great.
like
Yeah.
capture all of these
Yes.
cool ideas
Yes.
and really making these connections so that when we go back to Philadelphia,
Yeah.
we could contact all of these people and see if there were other
Yeah.
things that we could do. And I don't know
Yes.
if we ever did that, but I think eventually, I think like maybe Kelly, you might have partnered with like one or two, but it wasn't happening in the beginning. Like when I first started going to leadership retreats, it really started like around the time of Omaha, like
Uh-huh.
I remember going to Austin and it was just not the same. It was very like just seemed standard, like a standard kind of gathering of people. And, we had our workshops and
Mhm.
things like breakout sessions and things like that. But just the social
Yeah.
aspect of it was
Right.
much bigger in Omaha for sure. So yeah,
What's the year of Austin?
Austin, I thought was 2006. I was just trying to remember because I don't think that um, there weren't many people like Kelly wasn't. You weren't in Philadelphia yet, I don't think, right, Kelly?
No, no, I
In
was here. I've
2006?
been here since 2001. I was just coming onto the board as your VP because in 2005, like I said, I was running that the design for the AIGA Philadelphia, the Revolution Philadelphia, that conference.
Okay. Because there was Austin, I know was like Frank Baseman was
Yeah,
still like the chair of
yeah,
education and
that was before
um
Was
me.
that
Yeah.
was that 2003?
gosh, was it?
2003?
Is that on our list,
That's
Eric?
Yeah.
It is. It's
that's
2003.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. That was like,
Mhm.
I remember there were some social things that were happening though. Like I remember like a lot of people would do that sunrise group, where everybody
What?
would get together and like hang out until like the sun came up.
Ah,
That started in Austin and it was
What?
Mark English. Remember the designer Mark English?
Oh, Mark English. Yeah, I
He would
remember
bring
him.
his guitar and he
Yes.
would find a space at the top of the hotel and just play and jam and get other people to bring their drinks up and like hang out until the sun came up.
I had to write that down because people have talked about that, but nobody's actually said when it started.
Yeah, it might have been actually, I feel like it started before that and I wasn't there.
Oh,
But I just
fair enough.
remember it was like already established and some
Right.
people knew and they brought their guitars with them
Mm-hmm.
What? Wow.
to hang out.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that social aspect, I guess, has always been there. But I just think it just became something a little different.
Right.
And I don't know if it was because I got more involved in the organization at that point. And for Austin, I felt a little fish out of water. So
Yeah, I think when you move into leadership, I think you pay closer attention, Shell. And
yeah.
I think like when you were talking about that was one of my favorite things about those retreats were the swag cables of all the programming and all the and I'd always come back with amazing t-shirts.
Yeah, I love the exchange of information between
Yeah.
chapters. That was definitely the social network before social media, right?
Yes, correct.
When do you just land in one place and know
Mhm.
people from across the
Yeah.
country? Before social media,
Yeah.
hardly ever.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I think Rachel, you might have invited me to Facebook. And I feel like it just made sense. It just made sense. Like, oh, of course. How am I going to stay in touch with everybody else?
Yeah.
And that
Uh-huh.
you could do that visually. Like you could see pictures, you could I don't think you could message at that point, but it made sense to do Facebook.
The pictures were crazy, though. I did get some notes like, please don't tag me on those because my family is on Facebook or something like that. Yeah, I got a bunch of notes like, some of those photos, not so great.
Yeah. It makes me glad that I grew up and I went to high school when I did because there's virtually no evidence. Yeah.
Right. That's
the best.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
So think about
That's
you can't
true.
get these kids today, they can't get away with anything.
Nope. I mean, I can tell where my nephews are right now. Just how fast they're driving. It's crazy. Right.
Exactly.
Well, or it was just much simpler times. I always like to think back to the AIGA leadership retreats, like that was just so fun and
Mhm.
simple. And it's, not as fun and simple anymore. You just can't get away from it. It's like part of our life and our culture, and you can't get
Yeah.
away from always being exposed to something. So it was like a great time to
Yeah.
just like focus. You focus. There were no phones.
Just Sharpie markers. That's all I had.
Sharpies.
Just
Sharpie
Sharpies.
markers. That would have never happened if we had social media then. So
Right. That was it.
True. Yeah, in a weird way, we were more present, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sharpies. Sharpie media.
Sharpie media.
I think I remember the next retreat that happened. There were people doing like more things with Sharpies, like doing like fake tattoos. Was it Portland?
Do you remember the buttons? Do you remember like going and I don't remember. Was that San
Yeah,
Francisco?
Alicia was
where
talking about everybody had filled with buttons.
And we
Oh,
would collect
right.
them from each other at that mixer thing they would do towards the beginning. And so you would talk to people and you would collect buttons from all the different chapters
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
and put them
about that.
clip them to your lanyard. Yeah.
Oh right, the lanyard.
All right. Well, I hope you have some photos of these because it would be great to illustrate some of these points. I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to see these buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I do. I think I sent you everything I had. I really shook.
I totally forgot about them, so I don't think I have a picture.
Well, I remembered because I enjoyed that, and it kind of forced you to out of your shell to talk to folks that you didn't know, and so that was fun.
And it was so much fun talking to you both today. I don't know. I have to just say that Philly is one of the best chapters that I know.
Oh, man.
Everybody who
Aw.
is filled
Thanks,
with
Rachel.
love,
Yeah.
care, and I mean, you know this, Kelly, right? Just
Well, Debbie Millman told me this
okay.
once. So when she was working for National and she was doing that stint, I don't know what her position was, but she was basically traveling to all the chapters. And so I spent a significant amount of time with her because I think I was president at the time. And she told me that. She said,
Yeah.
Philly is very special. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how
Wow.
you guys do it, but there's something.
Well, we went. I
We
mean,
had a
our
good, we had a
membership
good run
numbers
for
were
sure.
so good, Michelle. Our numbers
Mhm.
were so good. I think when I
Mhm.
left, we were at almost 800 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
And I think when Michelle came in, we were like in the 500s. So that's
not good.
together over 4 years, we went from in the 500s to close to 800. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was all that great programming and
I forgot that we watched all those numbers. That's true. Yeah.
because we were concerned because of the money.
Yeah.
We were trying to,
Mhm, mhm.
like get more money to do bigger things,
But doing that, I feel like we ended up just being like really good at recruiting. And maybe that's where we found all these amazing people. Like, you know what I mean? I think that we just worked really hard to find like fun people to hang out with. And then
That's right.
we just we kind of left this like legacy of like, yeah, it's all about like hanging out and
No
having
jerks.
fun.
No jerks can be on
No
the board,
jerks.
right? Yeah.
You're
no
fun.
jerks.
Why
Well,
don't you be the chair? Or why don't you be the VP? Like, yeah.
yeah.
That's how you
Yeah.
recruit.
Exactly.
That's all it
Yeah.
happened. Yeah. It was just because you like them.
Oh, you're new here. What?
Yeah.
You
Well, why
want to
don't
be on the
you-
board?
You want to be in charge? Yeah.
You want to be in
That's not even, I feel like that there were so many things like that. Those situations happened a lot where we
know.
just met someone who seemed really interested and,
Yeah.
looked like they were going to contribute. So we would get them interested in something that was going on. Yeah. Let's take you and put you in this position. Or we have this going on. Would you like to get more involved? And
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you
Yeah,
both.
Thank you.
This was great.
Yeah.
It was so nice
so
to run us up.
fun.
And then thanks for having me invite someone, my partner in crime here with me.
It was so fun to like try and remember all of these things. And yeah, we were there together. So
Ah, that's so
Oh,
wonderful.
I love it.
thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right, ladies. Thank you again. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you
This
so
was
much.
fun.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
night, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Cheers and Tears will be back next time with more design leadership tales retold.
Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this podcast with your creative community, design leaders, and friends.
Cheers and Tears Design Leadership Tales Retold is a production of Chapter 2 and hosted by us, Rachel Elnar and Erik Cargill. This episode was produced and edited by Rachel Elnar. Podcast graphics by Erik Cargill. Animation by Verso Design and Megatow Design.
The theme music track is Loose Ends by Silver Ships Plastic Oceans. Follow Cheers and Tears on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube podcasts, or wherever you get your audio and video podcasts. Subscribe to our email list at cheersandtears.com so you don't miss an episode.